When you hear of Kashmir, in all likelihood, you think of tourism a lot, the food, and actually a lot of things. But personally, for me, football was not the word that I would think of with Kashmir, except this show changed my mind. And the two people who are here, Mohammed, Ayyub, Manav Kaul, welcome to the print.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
They are playing real life characters, characters who are inspired by real life. Two people who created a movement in Kashmir somewhere around post 2014 after the devastating floods. So I'm going to ask them a lot about the show and a lot of other things. First of all, I want to start with you. Just the question that you've just done Baramulla, now Real Kashmir Football Club. What I felt, even as somebody watching a lot of OTT and films, there was a time when you think of Kashmir, at least on screen, we would see a lot of conflict, which is of course true. Or we would see the other side of it, which felt like there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's just a beauty, natural beauty. But this very year, three different kind of content came out on OTT itself. One historical, Songs of Paradise, then Baramulla, then Real Kashmir Football Club. Each of them different genres, each of them looking at very distinct identities and realities of Kashmir. So I wanted to start with that. What do you have to say about? Do you think this is a great change in moving beyond how we usually look at Kashmir, or we are getting more stories out of Kashmir?
I think I don't understand why we are not tired of the Kashmir we have seen. Like in news or news channel or हर जगह जो हमको कश्मीर होता है, it's very tiring because first of all because I am from Kashmir. मतलब जब मैं और मेरी माँ बैठ के कश्मीर की बातें करते हैं और when my father was around, it's a very different Kashmir. मतलब मेरे फादर के जितने दोस्त हैं कश्मीर से बिलोंग करते हैं बारामूला ख्वाजाबाग से, जब जब तक वो जिंदा थे वो उनका लगातार एक संडे को लंबे फ़ोन कॉल्स होते थे एंड अगर कोई वो फ़ोन कॉल सुन ले उनको बिलीव नहीं होगा कि ये कश्मीरी पंडित हैं और उनके साथ ये हुआ है और ये अपने दोस्तों के साथ ऐसे बात कर रहे हैं. सो माई पॉइंट इज देर आर सो मेनी स्टोरीज. खासकर जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जोन होती है उसमें स्टनिंग स्टोरीज होती है. और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि बिकॉज थ्रू दिस सीरीज एंड थ्रू बारामूला थ्रू अभी हम लोग जो एक्सप्लोर करने लगे हैं, आप किसी भी तरीके की स्टोरी लें, इंक्लूडिंग लव, इंक्लूडिंग फ्रेंडशिप, इंक्लूडिंग एनीथिंग, you put it in Kashmir and it's going to work because it has so much to offer. And also हम सबका जो bias है एक एक इमेज, जैसे जैसे मुझे लगता है वो सबकी इमेज, जैसे इंडिया की इमेज बाहर जब आप जाते हैं तो बोलते हैं अरे ओ इंडिया इज लाइक वेरी chaotic, very this, but I tell everyone that please come to India, it's beautiful. Similarly I say please go to Kashmir, it's beautiful. Because जब तक आप जाओगे नहीं and you create this whole idea of, so इंडिया का आइडिया बाहर बहुत खराब है. But people who have come here, they love India. So my point is, you just have to go and talk to people. And through these stories, I guess, हम लोग एक थोड़ा सा एक नए दरवाजे खोल रहे हैं. और इसलिए थोड़ी चरर चरर आवाज़ भी हो रही है. Because ये दरवाजे बहुत समय से बंद थे. But it's a beautiful door.
Right. Zeeshan, I just wanted to ask, both of you must have spent a lot of time in Kashmir for the series, right? So, do you have anything that you went in thinking, okay, this is what I know of Kashmir again, and then you were proven wrong?
No, I think it was more like that I wanted to explore Kashmir
Right.
in its true light. Because generally what happens that, so I visited Kashmir just 1 year before we started shooting. And it was more like touristy kind of thing, going to Nishad Garden, Dal Lake, Shikara, and all those things, and those identified food places that they give brilliant food and all those things. So I don't think that is the truth of any place, be it Kashmir or Delhi or anywhere. I think tourist places are completely different from the real culture. So I was really excited because I think the best part about shooting something in a city or anywhere in a state, it's always interesting because you go to locations that are very different from what you would have seen if you would have gone there as a tourist. So I think I was very open, and it was so good. It was beautiful. We were there for almost, I think, more than a month.
Yeah.
I
Close
think
to 2 months, yeah.
the whole October,
Yeah.
some part of September until first week November, we were there, and it was beautiful. I just loved being there, and I want to visit again.
Okay, are you both football fans?
I'm not.
I am.
Okay. Because I had my dad tell me, teach me कि ऐसे होता है, वैसे होता है, which after a point I could not understand. But there was this zeal, like I would always watch him, and that is one of my fondest memories, just watching him watch football. And he used to play as well, of course. But after office, like dressed like that. Now, in some way, for example, your character gave me that memory flashback of him, that scene when you're all sitting and reminiscing, football days. So what was it like? Because you don't like it and you like it. It's interesting.
No,
Great
it's
for
not that
me.
I don't like it.
I mean,
I'm
you're
not fan.
You're not a fan of it. But it's interesting because one is and one is not.
Yeah.
So what was it like shooting those scenes? Also because you come in a lot of scenes where you're just observing because it's your team and you've invested in it.
Yeah.
And is at one point, I love that dialogue where Aslan's character and the coaches sort of had the stiff, right? And you were very nicely trying to say, old woman. He's like, that was a fight. It was not. I felt like that humor is sort of subtle in the show. I just absolutely loved it because it's not in your face ki sab kuch hasne wali cheez, because there's also like this slow build up. Now I wanted to start with football. So when you were doing those scenes, did you also have thoughts ki aisa hona chahiye? Did you play वैसे?
No, I never played football. I think I got introduced in 2004 or 5. Before that, we were just playing cricket, basketball, and doing some running or something. So football, I got introduced and I was like, oh my God, I missed this sport. I think this is the true form of sport, the team thing and the kind of excitement that you have while watching a football match. I think that is too much. I just can't handle it. You become aggressive also while watching it. And so I think that was something. And from last 20 years, I've been following football properly, following club matches also, league matches and all those things. So I became a football fan, but I never played it. So while doing those scenes, that was really fun.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was like watching a match and they were so good. Those kids, they were so good. It was like, oh, did you see? So when camera is not on us, we are talking like children, and we are like, oh, he's doing backflip. And so I think it was really fun watching that. When camera is on us, then we have to behave like, oh, we know how to do this like inside out. So I think that was the exciting part for me. I was really enjoying watching them play.
Okay, so before getting the script or before signing on the show, were you aware of the football club?
I had no idea.
You had no idea. And did you? No. So when you started reading it, what was the thoughts in your head? Ki, this is something that's happening there. And it's a very interesting story as well, right? Sports in India, unfortunately, even though we get our medals on one side, the other side is usually pretty horrific. And it's only when somebody gets the medal, somebody does something, then everybody is ready to, cheer them. But there's usually these stories that never get told. When it even comes to a lot of sports movies or content, not everybody is interested in watching them. A lot of that also happens. But this one is telling a story. And again, I also learned recently again that Kashmir's Ranji team is also actually doing great in cricket. And then there's football here. So when you were reading it, was it also just generally inspiring to read about this group of just guys doing it, this businessman who thought?
Yeah. When I was reading it and I heard that they have made a documentary out of that series and it won some awards, I thought that why nobody had made anything out of this, because this is one of the fantastic stories. So I was very happy. I told Killian that I want to be part of this. Like, give me any role. I'll do the passing shot also. I don't care, because very rarely you see like these stories and such an important story also, and also true story. So you feel so good about it. Like, no, I mean, if someone had created this fiction out of this, I would have said, "Okay, yaar, aisa thodi hota hai, aisa bahut mushkil hai." But this is a real story, and you're part of it, and I feel very, very happy about this.
And so, individually for both of you, you're people who do very interesting work. And I'm not. I mean, for the lack of a good word, I'm using interesting at this point. In a sense, like, if you look at each of the work that you've done, they're like very different from each other. There are roles that will stand out. You'll go back to those roles and think about it. I'll start with you. Like, for example, even Chihu and Mishra, when it came out, I don't think anybody starting to watch it was expecting you, because if you watch Trasdi right there, because it happened here at, we went to watch. So me and three of my friends who used to also work here earlier, so we went to watch. And then you're suddenly like transported into that world. And I remember everybody like talking about it suddenly. Oh my God, what is this show? What are you doing? Then again, now this, of course. So what is that one thing that's your that you keep in mind while you're like, okay, yes to this project or no to this project?
Because actually I don't have that much time to give to
Okay.
acting. So what I do is I just do one project or maximum two projects in a year, or mostly one in a year. So if I'm saying yes to something and I'm not traveling and not doing theater, I'm not writing something,
Right.
that has to be something that I'm very excited about.
Right.
Otherwise I don't know why I will give 2 or 3 months. And Tribhuvan Mishra, it's one of the most well written series I was, and also nobody has imagined, because I know I remember when I read those like some 2 or 3 episodes. मैंने राम को फोन किया था. राम was the producer and Puneet. I said please audition me because I know you think that मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा. तो पुनीत ने मुझे बोला कि अरे यार तुम ना साउथ बॉम्बे टाइप के लोग हो, यू नो यू डोंट नो. अरे मैंने कहा मैं गाँव का हूँ, कैसे बताऊँ, मैं नहीं हूँ. So I actually pushed them and I was in Kashmir.
हाँ.
मुझे याद है मैं कश्मीर में नगीन लेक में था जब पहली बार मैंने जूम मीटिंग की थी एंड हम लोगों ने ऑडिशन किया. तो कश्मीर वाज ऑलवेज वेरी लकी फॉर मी. तो मैंने वो जूम मीटिंग की थी एंड दे सेड ओह नहीं ये तो अपना ही है. ये कर सकता है त्रिभुवन. So this I was part of that.
And Zeeshan, for you, what is that one factor?
I think it's like we came in this field because of passion, because we wanted to do something exciting, because this field excites me. So I think that to break that pattern, that if you follow your passion and if you make it your profession, then after a point it just becomes your job. I think to break that pattern, it is very important. Okay, ho gaya ye wala. Now let's try something new. So like when people ask, okay, what kind of roles you want to do, I'm always like, I don't know. A script has to surprise me, and I should be like, oh, acha ye kaise hoga? Okay, then you approach that and then you try to create something new. I think that novelty should be there in any project. That is how I also approach.
Also just finished watching Nishanchi before, I think, Real Kashmir Football Club. Absolutely love to hate your character. Like it was all, every time I think you'd come on screen, that character, I'm like, why? Why is this? And I think that is the brilliance of that character again. Okay, so coming back to Real Kashmir Football Club, I have like the several moments which hit hard also because, you know, what I started with, that when we think of Kashmir, we think of it in binaries, I feel, in extremes. Either it's very stunning, which as if means that there is erasure of everything else that's happening, or there's only conflict, which again means everything else is gone. But this one layers it up with a lot of the character's own experience and past, right? Like, especially in your case, when there's that scene when you come back and you're saying, I tried to go back there and I couldn't, right? Or when in the very first episode, in fact, this person says, do you think police will sort it? And there's that pause. And of course, we don't get to know what has happened, but there's an inkling. Or even in the coaches' conflict, you know, there's always somebody who's navigating that. So I just wanted to understand how important is that layering for people to actually get into understanding that they don't nothing has to be binary. And everything has to come with a sense of कि बिल्कुल absolute नहीं है, बहुत सारी चीजें होती है एक इंसान के लाइफ में.
I feel that we don't have enough stories. Like we always make people like, अगर मैं बोलता हूँ जिशान बहुत अच्छा आदमी है, तो the second thought is कि अगर ये अच्छा आदमी बना रहा तो ये भगवान. There is no in between.
Right.
And then if जिशान एक दिन सिगरेट पीता दिख गया, ये क्यों, तो मैं जिशान को बिल्कुल मतलब तार कर दूंगा, सारा उसका भगवान निकाल दूंगा उसके बाद. But that is how we deal with stories also. There is a hero who has to be a god. And I don't understand this through any story. So if we are talking about Kashmir and we say no, this is about like, you know, a Muslim character and a Kashmiri Pandit, they come together and form a football team. Everything is very, but ऐसा नहीं. There is so much to it. So my point is, like हम लोग जैसे crave करते हैं, like when you read a book, you crave for much more than what it is. So similarly, why don't we crave in a story that it should be much more than just एक villain है, एक hero है, अंत में hero ने villain को मार दिया है, then everyone started living happily ever after. Why? So that's why मुझे वो महेश मथाई का महेश सर का बहुत ही ज़्यादा अच्छा लगता है कि महेश सर ने जो एक लेयरिंग डाली है which is humor, and he loved that. जब भी हमारा थोड़ा सा he used to get very excited, and also at that time because we are living this, there are lives we are talking about, so it has every shade, frustration to sadness to happiness to humor to everything. एंड वो सारा कुछ स्टोरी में डिपिक्ट किया. दैट्स व्हाई आई थिंक I find this series is a complete series in that sense. It's not talking about only him, only me, or only मतलब it's about football, but आप देखेंगे कि जो सबसे strong characters हैं women characters हैं. So you actually should see the show for women, and though it's a football. So I think वो जो मेरे को brilliant idea अच्छा है ये इसका, वो बहुत पसंद है.
Zeeshan, you wanted to?
I think he has said almost everything. I think it's a human story, and there might be a cultural difference when you are telling a story in Assam, maybe. But if you're telling a human story there, they also have the same problems. Like for Kashmir, it was always like, okay, they are going through only either conflict part or the beauty and the romance and everything. I think that was really important in this, that a young boy, he cannot follow his passion because his family can't afford. Or for someone, even that much money is more than enough for one family. For one family, they are like, no, why are you going in football? Go for cricket because it has more money. I think these are common problems throughout India, or maybe throughout the world. So I think when you approach a place with this idea that we want to talk about the basic human nature, the basic society, then it is based in Kashmir. Then obviously all the socio-political, economic scenarios will come into play. And that is, I think, the magic of RKFC for me. When I read it, I was like, wow, the same problems that we faced when we were young, they're facing the same problem, but the scenario is different. And how everything, all the reactions, everything just changes. So maybe the way I would have been talking to a Sarkari Babu being in Delhi would have been different. How a Kashmiri boy will be talking to a Sarkari Babu. And that I got to know when we were there. And I was like, oh no, it cannot be the same. I cannot be maybe that relaxed. Maybe I'll be a bit tensed. But at the same time, so there are a few things which might look like, oh, it was nothing. It was so easy. They just have to tell them that, okay, I want this and it will be done. No, but when it is Kashmir, or when it is a city in UP or in maybe Calcutta, it will be different. Because the scenario is different. So I think that was something really great about this.
Also, I think there is also this popular idea, perception, or maybe that's also me as an audience, that when I think of a sports movie, I only think of it in intense moments, in slow motion shots, right? Because that's how we've been fed, and that's how you sort of grow up thinking, the camera will just zoom in, and there'll be a dripping sweat. I mean, that's what. And so I think there's also a refreshing take when it is not happening. Especially with football, it happens. If you're a fan, even the league matches, right? It's that. It's like the camera, jitna koi paas ja sakta hai, wo utna paas jata hai. But there's this sense of balance. There's no exaggerated like emotions ki koi bilkul. I think even that moment when you're getting to know ki itne sare cheeze chahiye just to apply for a license. I think I was in panic listening. Ye kaise karega? Why ye list khatam nahi ho rahi? This guy just said ki he'll make it, and ye to itna lamba list hai. Or at least in your case, like just I almost felt like, my God, are people this calm while doing things? Even in the trailer, when a trailer first comes out, then you are the one who's talking to that official, who's like, and you are like very nicely giving that one dialogue, how is it in India, if it's not, and then he gives it a look. I also feel like that's a very Sarkari office. It is universal. I used to say when I was in DU, if the shutter is down in your face, that's it. एक घंटा आप खड़े रहो. And now I appreciate their tiffin though. I used to hate their 4-decker tiffins back then. कि इनका tiffin निकल गया तो आपको अब 1 घंटा. Now I appreciate it. कि खाना जरूरी है बहुत. Yeah, but also coming that, did you also have this like doing a sports drama, लंबा sports drama है, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, players होंगे, matches होंगे, दिखाएंगे कि थोड़ा मुझे भी ऐसे मौका मिलेगा या ऐसे intense shots होंगे आपके, ऐसे लगा था beginning में?
I don't think this is
कभी भी नहीं.
मतलब also because मैं तो फुटबॉल, मैं तो thank God मैं वो नहीं हूँ प्लेयर, अपने से तो होता ही नहीं.
हाँ.
मतलब और टेनिस करा लो, स्विमिंग करा लो, बास्केटबॉल खिला लो, बट
ये नहीं हो
Not
पाएगा.
football.
Yeah, I think that is what attracted us.
Right.
While reading the script, it was quite clear that it is a human story, and at the same time, I think the show is about the club, and
Right.
it's a very rare thing
Hmm.
in writing. Like he was saying that it is generally okay. This will be our hero. This will be the villain. This will be like this, supporting comedy. I don't know why, but that is how they structure a film. I think the beauty about this was it is you cannot uh, point out that okay, this is the lead. You cannot. It is everyone has their own hero's journey,
Hmm.
and I think to have 14, 15 hero's journey is a great task, which
But that's why
writers
I
have.
guess series are amazing.
Hmm.
I mean, I love to be part of a series because it is giving you more than just one
That
angle
opportunity.
or one story. Everyone has enough material to perform. Like there are stunning actors in this. One of my favorite is that kid who has a journey. Eventually who just works for me, and then
Aman, huh?
Aman. So I think Aman's character is one of my favorite in the series.
It
Yeah,
is.
because he starts out with
Yeah.
the
Ah.
moment because it's such an
Moment.
aggressive moment.
And also the journey,
Right.
the circle is so beautifully completed.
And I think again, credit goes to Mahesh sir and the
Mahesh sir.
creators and writers that to have that first scene, that introduction of Aman in the typical cliched idea of
Yeah.
Kashmir.
Kashmir, yeah.
And then it was like, okay, now you are convinced that this is Kashmir. Okay, let us
Let
take
us take you away.
to
the
a
journey,
different
yeah.
journey. And then it's like, oh, I was judging this boy for something else because that is my association. And then that journey starts, and again, brilliant journey.
Okay, but at any point when you got, because it's inspired by true events, and that's what, did you go back and also look at these two people that you were playing individually and like, okay, these guys really existed and they did all of this. अपने अब तक से भी पढ़ा था इसके बाद?
But ऐसा भी Mahesh sir didn't want us
अच्छा,
to because first of all the script was complete by itself. So we are going by the Shiris rather than Sandeep. I am going by the Shiris rather than Sandeep. And also ऐसा कुछ उसमें एंगल नहीं था कि जिसमें मुझे लगे कि ओ आई डोंट नो अबाउट दिस, सो आई नीड टू मीट दिस गाय एंड टू अंडरस्टैंड, ऐसा कुछ था नहीं. So मुझे लगा it's a great story and I can interpret this the way I want. So it's all about how I feel about Sirish rather than मतलब other way around.
Okay, and same for you.
Yeah, kind of. Because again, I think the script was complete, though I met him
Okay.
just by chance.
Okay.
So it was a really funny thing. I don't think तुझे भी पता है ना. So we had a few off days, and I have a few friends in Kashmir. So I was there, and it was a small get together of 5-6 people, and a guy came. Oh hi. And my friend was like, oh, he just came back from UK, he was doing something, and he went away. And we were talking, and he was like, oh, I've seen you in films, and so how come you're in Kashmir? What are you doing? And I was like, oh, so there is a very interesting concept. There is a club called RKFC, and he was suddenly like, it has started. And I was like, oh, you know about the project, so you are playing me only. What? And he was like, yeah, I got to know, but I was in UK that you guys will be starting, but I did not know that you are already shooting. And I was like, oh, this is something different. Yeah. So I met him just for a brief moment, but again, as he mentioned, script is different. I think
Right.
this idea of approaching and meeting those people, for me intellectually, I don't agree with that idea.
Okay.
Until unless that is some kind of a very public figure that everyone knows how they talk or what are their nuances. Generally, what I believe in that, because when I met him, right now he's a very confident man.
Right.
He has this club. He made this club. He is investing in some other club also. He's going to UK for different trainings and all those things. He's a very different man. I cannot play this attitude
When
for
you start,
Sohail.
right.
Because this is completely different, and he's not an actor. He won't be able to communicate the vulnerability to me. So it was like, I was like, oh, it was such a good decision not to meet them, because we were already into the shoot, and we already shot for 15-20 days. Then I met him, and I was like, no, it was a better decision. I think the way we have crafted the character is better for the story. Maybe he was a very confident man. He always knew. So when he was saying those things, that ho jayega, it was with confidence. Like we have played it like that he doesn't know, but he's just saying "Kya ho jayega?" And I think this is more interesting to have that sort of not knowing anything and to be vulnerable. So yeah.
I wanted to talk about the dialogues. Like I said, it has that CT Mar element, but beyond, without going over the top. I think when you're quitting, for example, and he's like, "Naukri nahi hai," which is basically every employer saying that you'll not find anybody. It's actually every relationship and boss saying the same thing, right? इससे बेहतर प्यार करने वाला नहीं मिलेगा, इससे बेहतर जॉब नहीं मिलेगा. And he was like, सड़क बंद हो सकते, रास्ते खुले. I think that's what sort of more or less. And even in your case, like there is dialogue, subtle moments, and when you're trying to, for example, talk to Aslan, कि हुआ क्या था? There's a moment in the hotel lobby, I think. So I wanted to know about the dialogues. Did you have fun like when reading it? कि मजेदार तो है without going all the way over the top.
मतलब इट वाज अदर वे अराउंड एक्चुअली.
अच्छा.
अगर मुझे कहीं डायलॉग दिखता था मैं कहता कैन यू जस्ट कट दिस एंड मेक इट लाइक अ कन्वर्सेशन. सो मैंने यही किया है कि बिकॉज इन लाइफ मैंने बोलता देख भाई अगर जीवन रहा तो हम फिर मिलेंगे, ऐसा कोई नहीं बोलता है. सो मेरा तो पूरा आइडिया ये है कि इट हैज़ टू साउंड लाइक वी आर टॉकिंग इन रियल लाइफ. सो तो मेरे अगर जो भी 3-4 बेचारे सिमाम ने मेरे लिए अच्छी सीटी मारने वाली लाइन लिखी होंगी वो मैंने कटवा ही दी है.
I think it was generally like this only. I think in all the scenes we are like
was like that.
But
his character was मतलब
in the end it should be there.
it should be there.
At some moments, I think when an audience is watching something, like I enjoy that.
Yeah.
मुझे मजा आता है कि क्या बात है, बच्चन ने क्या डायलॉग बोला. So I think I come from that kind of background कि मुझे ना I enjoy कि कोई सीटी मार डायलॉग आता, but because we are doing a realistic thing, so I think we were all on the same page and we knew that if there is a CT mod dialogue, take it very casually. Except that one moment जिसमें मैंने फंबल किया था, you remember? एक था जिसमें it was like it has to be heroic कि आप इसको personally मत लीजिए लेकिन मैं लूँगा. ये इतना ही बोल रहा था when that conflict with politician and whatever. और मैं आया ये खड़ा हुआ सामने, आप इसे personally मत लीजिए. और पता नहीं मैंने क्या बोला था दूसरे. And we were like, there is just one dialogue which is heroic and you did a fumble on that. So वो था, but I enjoy that, and I think there are not many heroic dialogues in that sense, but I think the confrontation with that politician, it was supposed to be and it should have been a bit heroic. That Kashmir को इसकी ज़रूरत है, because it is more like it is a statement right now for general public. So I enjoy in between there if there are heavy city mod dialogues, I enjoy that.
So thank you so much. ऐसे जैसे नहीं पता चला कि आधा घंटा हो गया है, and I do wish nobody had realized it. If she had not said cut, we would have continued. But thank you so much for telling me, and like I said, I did love the show. So I'm hoping other people also, as somebody who has not much idea about football, I was watching everything जैसे मुझे ही पता है सब कुछ. But yeah, thank you so much again for talking to us.